Did you know Python can download files, talk to your system, handle time travel, and even create mini web servers without installing a single extra package? That's right. All this power comes built into Python itself. In this video, I'll show you the secret superpowers hiding inside Python's standard libraries, tools that even many intermediate developers overlook. Stick around till then because the last one I'll show you can literally automate your daily tasks with just few lines of code. Let's go. So let's go to one of the important library. I'll show you array, import array. I'll be importing array, and this is an important library used to create arrays. So I'll create a variable arr is equal to array dot array, and here I'll write the type code that is integer because I want integer in the array 1, 2, 3, 4. Suppose I'm passing this. So I basically is the type code which means an integer, and then when I print this array or print arr, it should return me an array, but its items are restricted to its type code. Let's check that out. Okay, because it's the first time in this session, it is asking me for a kernel, and you'll have to also do that. And it takes some time to execute because it's the first time we updated the kernel. Okay, it gives the output array I of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I is the type code. Remember this, guys. So next one is the maths library. So when math meets Python, it's not boring anymore. The math module brings scientific power from square root to trigonometry. So let's import math. Okay. So this math library, we have already discussed about this package in our previous video. Print, I'll just get some built-in functions from math. Suppose square root, and I'll use the number as 25 here. And then I'll use another built-in function called math.py. Okay, so let me just execute this to show you the output. So first square root of 25 will return as 5, and pi value is 3.141. Okay, so this looks clean, fast, and reliable, right? And then comes another library called random. Okay, so this is the fun one. Want to roll a dice, shuffle a deck, pick a random winner. So this is how the random library works. Let me show you some example, but first I'll import the random library. Okay, and then I will print random, and let's pick up one built-in function, random integer. Okay, so I will pass 1 and 10. So what it will do is I have given a range 1 and 10. So this built-in function will retrieve one random number between 1 and 10. Okay. So this is one of the built-in function. Let me give you an example of another built-in function in the random library. So choice. Okay. So what this will do is we will pass a list of values or elements to this random function, random library, and or the choice built-in function, and this will choose one random element from the list. Okay. So suppose I pass apple, then I pass banana, then I pass cherry. Okay. So if I run this, we'll see what random value it picks up. Okay. So in the first run, it picks up 3 from the integer list or the random values, random integer values. And from the second list, it picks up one element from its choice. So not necessarily every time it will return the same output. If I execute again, the value might change. Okay, if you see here with the second execution, it returned me the value A, and from the list of values here, it returned apple. I hope this is clear, guys. Imagine being able to control your computer, create folders, rename files, or run scripts directly from Python. That's what the OS operating system module does. So let's import OS, and then we'll see one of the built-in function in OS. It is get cwd. Okay, so this should retrieve current directory we are in. Okay, see Python 5 module. So we are inside this modules, and we have the standard library python.ipynb file here. So it retrieves the path here. Okay, and next we'll see one other operation on files and collection of files. Let me show you one other important library. Okay, SHUTIL. Okay. Now what it will do, we will use one of the functions from this library, inbuilt function, to copy the content of one file to other. Okay, copy file, and within this, let me just write source.txt, comma, destination.txt. Okay, so let me just open the source.txt here. So I have this text here. Hello, how are you? I'm fine. Welcome to the course. And this is my destination.txt, which is empty as of now. So what I want to do is I want to copy the content of the source.txt to the destination.txt. That's how we are going to use this copy file built-in function. So in case the destination.txt doesn't exist, this will create a file called destination.txt in the same folder, and if it exists with some content, it's going to overwrite the content. So as of now, I'm showing you this is empty. Okay, let me execute and show the output. Okay, so let's check now if the content is copied here. See, the content is copied here. And suppose I write something called A, B, C, E, F, G here, this content, and I'll execute again and I'll show you that the content would have been overwritten. Okay, it's executed. See, it did overwrite the existing content from this file. Okay, so creation of files and folders I have already explained in my previous videos. Just check that out once. Okay, so let us go to another built-in function in the OS library, that is os.mkdir. Okay, this will just create a new directory, test underscore dir. Okay, so if you see here, it just created a test directory here when I executed this. Let me create another one just to show you. Suppose standard library tutorial. Okay, you see here, it's got created. With one command, Python picks into your system brains. We just saw that now, right? So let's go to the next library called JSON. So this is something on data serialization. Again, very, very important. So let me just write that. Data serialization. Okay. And data runs the world and Python speaks its language fluently. The JSON module lets you read and write data in the same format used by the web APIs. Now let me just show you an import JSON library here. Now let me create a dictionary for you. Data is equal to, I'm just writing name here as Ikshita and a comma, then another element age, which says 25. Okay, so this is my dictionary. Now the requirement is to serialize this dictionary to JSON string. So let me just create a variable called JSON string is equal to, and I'll use the library here, and I'm going to call one inbuilt function which will serialize this dictionary to JSON string. Okay, so the function is dumps, and within this I'll just pass the dictionary here. Okay, and then let me print JSON string, and let me also print the type of the JSON string. Okay, so let us execute and see the output. Okay, if you see the first one, it converted it did convert or serialize the dictionary to JSON string here, and then the type it's providing a string. Okay, and now let's perform another operation using this JSON library, that is to pass a JSON string back to a dictionary. So it has converted my dictionary to a string, right? So I want this, like this output again, to be converted back to a JSON. So how do we do that? Let's see. Parsed data is equal to, and I'll again call the library JSON dot, I'll use loads. This is another inbuilt function, and then I'll pass the JSON string, which is a string format. Okay, so this will just convert the JSON string to a dictionary. Now let's go ahead and print the parsed data, and also we will print the type of the parsed data. So this should return as a dictionary and not a string anymore. Okay, if you see here, the second output, this is the output of the last two print statements. So our past data is a JSON and the data type it shows as dictionary. Okay, for spreadsheets or reports, there's the CSV module. You can easily load thousands of rows in seconds. No need for an Excel. Python is your Excel now. Okay, let's go ahead and import the CSV module, CSV library now. Import CSV, and we'll see what all inbuilt functions we have in CSV and what all we can discuss in this video. So I will use a file operation here. So with open, and I have one example.csv here which is blank. I'll show that to you. I've created an example.csv which is blank as of now. What we'll do is we'll try to open this file and we'll try to write some records or rows to the CSV, and then we'll try to read the same. Okay, let's go ahead and see this example. So I have given the path of this CSV, then mode. Mode is nothing but if you want to read or write, you need to specify that. So initially this is empty, so I want to write something to this file, and then new line is equal to blank. Okay, as file. Okay, now let's start writing the records to this file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a writer, nothing but a variable. Okay, and then I'm going to call the CSV standard library and a built-in function called writer here, and I'll call the file here, to which I'm going to write the records. And then writer dot, I'll call another function write row, and within this we are going to pass our rows or records. So the first one I want to pass as name, and then the second one is the age, and then again the writer dot write row, and I'll pass the values now. Okay, so let me pass the values Akshita and comma 25. Okay, so this is how we write rows to the CSV. So now let's just execute and see if the example.csv, which is empty as of now, will get populated with these rows or records. So this is done. If we see here, we see the name, age, and the values here populated. Okay, the file is now updated. Now let me just try and read the data or read the content from the example.csv. So what I'll do with open, I want to open the file again and the same path example.csv, but this time my mode would be, instead of write, I want to read this. So R as file. So file operations, again, we are going to discuss in detail in the next video. Now I want to call the reader is equal to csv dot reader. Reader is an inbuilt function. File. Okay, I want to read the file for row in reader. So I'm going to run a for loop here to read each and every row of the file. Print row. Let's say if it is able to print the rows of from the file. So name and then Nipshita and 25. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now let's go to the next standard library called datetime. So what time is it? Python knows that. With the datetime module, you can track time, calculate, or create countdowns. So let's just use the datetime and see some examples. From datetime, import datetime, okay, comma, time delta. Now I have imported datetime and time delta from this datetime standard library. Now what I'll do is, now I've created a variable called now, and I'll use the datetime library, and I'll call one inbuilt function called now. So let us see how the output looks like when I print this now variable. Okay, so it gives me the current date and time. Okay, so now let's do another thing here. I created one variable called yesterday, and now minus time delta and days is equal to 1. So what I'm trying to do is, now is the current date and current time. From this now, I'm subtracting 1 day. Okay, let's see the output when I print yesterday here. If you see here, it gives the first print statement gives the current date and current time. The second print statement just deducted 1 day from the current date time. Okay. Let's go ahead and see the regular expression. This is also very important. Regular expression. Let me just import the regular expression library. Import RE. RE stands for regular expression. And then I'll give a pattern to match the pattern from the string R, and within single quotes, I am passing /d plus. So this means to match one or more digits from a given text. Okay, so this is the pattern that I want, and I'll pass a text as there are 123 apples, 456, something like this. Okay, so I'll create another variable called match is equal to re dot search. I want to search the text. I want to search this pattern within this text. Okay, so search is an inbuilt function, and I'm passing the pattern here and then the text here. Okay, the first would be the pattern, second would be the main text from which we want to search the pattern. Now let's print the output and see how the result is and if it is able to search the pattern from the text. Print, and I'll call the same variable match, but I'll call an inbuilt function called group. Okay, so this match finds the first match in this group. Okay, 123. It will not look for the 456 occurrence, but this pattern match, because we are using this match dot group, this will just find the first occurrence of digits. Let's see the output here. Okay, as discussed, it is returning only 1, 2, 3. Now, if I want to return all the occurrences of digits from the text, what we are going to do? So I'm just copying this here. I'll explain you the changes what we need to do here for whole search, like for retrieving all the occurrences of the digits in the text. So what I'm going to do, instead of search, I'm going to use another function called find all. So this will find all the occurrences of this pattern in this text. Now inside match dot group, I don't need this group anymore. I'll just use this. Okay, I'll just return the match because this will find all, and we'll run this and see the output. If you see, it returns two elements, both the elements, which are digits. Okay. What if I told you Python can browse the internet by itself? With URL library, Python can download web pages, fetch data, and connect to APIs. Now let's see how it works. So I'm using from URL library import request. Okay, and I'm creating one variable called HTML is equal to request dot. I will use one inbuilt function URL open and I'll pass one web URL here. Suppose https and then /example.com. Okay, and I want to read this. So this will just, it's like giving your code internet superpowers. Okay, securely and efficiently. And here's the secret. This is how web scrapers and bots start their journey. Okay, if you see, this has been executed and we have successfully read the example.com into our variable called HTML. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Python's standard library has over 200 modules ready to make your code cleaner, smarter, and lightning fast. If you learned something new today, hit the like button and drop a comment saying Python power. Because next time we are diving into hidden automation tricks using these libraries in real projects. Subscribe if you have not already, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep coding smart, not hard.